So we've sailed halfway around the world and now we're doing the unthinkable.
We are trading wind power for diesel power. Dun, dun, dun. Relax, we have not joined the dark side yet. So don't go canceling your subscription and calling us traitors to the sailing community. Hear us out.
Because this isn't our boat. It's home to one of you, our viewers, who's invited us aboard this Explorer yacht for a passage from Alaska down to Washington. And of course, we jumped at the opportunity to learn from someone who's actually living this life.
You okay with me leaving the bridge?
Are you okay with her leaving the bridge?
What could go wrong?
Because maybe, just maybe, there's more that connects these two worlds than divides them. And perhaps the real question isn't sail versus motor, but which tool best suits the adventure. Morning.
Morning. We are in Ketchikan, pulling up to the fuel dock right now, and this is going to be an eye-opening experience.
Sobering, maybe?
Yeah. Haven't had coffee yet. This will probably wake me up.
Put you down.
Got a foul line on the dock.
Oh, come here, Geoff. In here.
Sounds like a lot.
This sounds like watching the meter spin away is an eye-watering experience, which is why I have to remind myself that most long-range, full-displacement Explorer yachts like this only fill up once a year, if that.
I'm transferring over here from the starboard side, which we're fast filling, to the port side. Once I get 50% on the port side, I'll switch and start transferring to the bow tank.
And while Gallivant can hold 2,800 gallons of fuel, that also gives this vessel at least a 5,000 nautical mile range.
Start filling up the bow, and turn off the port.
Which is more than enough to take us all the way to Tahiti and beyond. So with that in mind, this is way cheaper than flying first class, and you get to bring your house with you.
533 gallons. How's your hand?
Not too bad. It's about 10 minutes of full grip strength testing right there. So I think I'm okay. For now, my longevity is
Still okay.
still all right.
So turn the pump off, start the engine.
You start the engine from down here or up there.
All right, looking good. Let's go.
Came in from the distance, dressed clothes of skin and hide. It seemed an ancient knowledge, the books they kept inside.
Welcome to motor vessel Gallivant. We are underway, believe it or not. This is the living area. It's quite quaint, and I have the owner with me. Only thing we're missing is a whiskey and a pipe.
No whiskey while you're underway.
So what should we call you? Call me Mike.
Mike.
Okay.
I thought for sure you were going to say Captain.
Whatever you want to call it.
He's not that formal.
This is your third Trawler, Explorer yacht, what do you call it?
Yeah, Trawler. This is a 2009 Northern Marine 64. It's our third. We built an 80-foot boat in 2000. In between, we had a 57-foot. So they're all similar, just different sizes and configuration.
When we said in our recent video that we were looking at steel and aluminum, you sent me a message, ping, you said, well, why aren't you considering fiberglass? And it's not that we're not considering fiberglass, but it just wasn't on my mind. But all three of your vessels have all been fiberglass, right?
One of the reasons that I was attracted to this brand was a man named Bruce Ketzler, who had gone around the world in a Delta, but a lot like this, and it was glass. It had a reputation for being strong and interesting, so it's proven.
And I read in between the lines, you're like, don't just write it off. I mean, it's a really solid option. And then I started looking at other, but there's so many boats out there that are made just like this, out of fiberglass, and they're made to explore higher latitudes.
Yeah, they all have all the materials have their advantages and disadvantages. Yeah, there's a lot of good options. One of the things that makes this boat really comfortable is it's a heavy boat. It's about 80-ton boat, stabilized. They're super easy. You turn them on and they just do their magic thing. And so we pretty much don't roll like that. Yeah, it's really nice. You know, you were probably surprised when you got the boat that we didn't have a lot of things tied down. because we've had this boat from Alaska to Baja and up and down, and nothing's really moved.
I will have to give you guys a quick tour at some point, and I'll show you our shampoo buffs.
Yeah, that's the first gauge that we were into something, like the shampoo buff is tip over.
Yeah.
But you are a sailor as well.
Yeah, I had a sailboat. I've got sailing in the Dodecanese Islands for a good amount of time. I had a 32-foot Ericsson for a while. I like sailboats. Sailboats are great.
You're allowed to be a sailor and...
Yeah, I've crewed on some J-boats, sailing's a lot of fun. This is comfortable.
Yeah.
It's easy, it's comfortable. It's a different kind of experience in a lot of ways. In other ways, it's not. A lot of the times, like when we were in Baja, we're surrounded by sailboats, and like we're the only powerboat there, and that's great. It's the community is open and fun and accepting. So then it doesn't really matter what you're in.
I can say 100%. We just shot our intro outside, and it's cold and moist, and it's very cool. And you step in here, and it's like, it gives you a hug. It does. Yeah. Should we go see the rest of the crew?
Yeah. We got one more?
This is Geoff, or the backside of Geoff.
I got a front side too.
Yeah.
How are you?
Good. Introduce yourself. Tell us where you're from.
I'm Geoff Kennard from Seattle, Washington, and came along for the ride this week. Yeah.
It's not your first time aboard, though.
Not this one, no. We've had the pleasure of joining them in Laredo, in Baja, which was an amazing trip. And we've I spent last 4th of July aboard off of Friday Harbor, watched the fireworks, and it was a little too moist to go home in my little runabout, so I spent a night in the commodious forward berth. So, yeah.
Commodious is an accommodation, not toilet.
Yeah, that's right. It was very comfortable.
That's a new verb for me, commodious.
Well, there is a toilet as well, and that's accommodating.
There you go. Well, that's what we've got to look forward to the next couple of weeks. He's got a very good sense of humor. And I think he's been on watch for a few hours now, so it's probably your turn to take a watch.
Oh, beautiful. It's pretty straightforward. It's basically most of what we're going to talk about is how the autopilot works and how the charting software works.
Okay.
Because you've been all over the world and you know most all this stuff.
Sort of. All of this looks very, very different. You have
Bigger?
very lovely big screens here.
Oh, yeah.
We usually look at something a lot smaller. And this whole time zero thing is different because that's the software that you're using. Well,
Yeah.
one of.
One of 3, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have the Time Zero in the middle, we have Frin on the side, and we have Garmin over here. Like diversity. Mm-hmm. We have a backup autopilot, and we have the primary autopilot. From hydraulics, we have the stabilizers, and we have the thrusters.
You feel like you got all that?
I think I got it all. It's funny, I think, because everything's just like nice and big. It's spread out. It looks like it's a lot, but it's all exactly the same stuff that I'm used to seeing. The only true difference is this one extra device right here, which is our...
No, bad teacher or bad student?
No, this is your follow-up.
FU, yeah.
Right? It is just like a teeny tiny tiller right here. So just imagine as if you were doing this, it's just instead you're doing this. It's interesting. You can use the wheel as well, but as I'm very much learning as we hop aboard all of these trawlers and explorer yachts, is that the wheels are kind of not used very often.
Decorative.
Yeah.
It's decorative. It's functional decoration.
And then the generator.
A lot of our friends that have motor vessels say they start the engines and they start the generator.
Or the generator just simply never turns off on a lot of them, especially like super yachts and stuff like that. They're all generally just running off of a generator all the time. You need it for the households. They don't really do the whole like battery and solar. They might, not really many that we've seen. I think it's hopefully slowly going that direction. But Mike has set his boat up so that he doesn't have to run the generator. And it sounds like you don't run the generator all that often. You can run most of your household loads.
Yeah, can
just
run
batteries.
unless we need to do something special or cook with the oven or something like that. We can run off batteries. As we're running here, all the house loads and hot water and everything just works fine off of the alternate.
What's
and
your
solar
battery bank?
We have Victron batteries. We have 7 300 amp hour 24 volt batteries. I think that's what it is.
And what's your solar?
I have 3 400 watt panels.
And I think you said you had big plans for more. Is that what you said?
Oh yeah, the solar is amazing, right?
Yeah.
You know, I want the wings that come out. So I want to have it so when we're at anchor, we have 8 panels.
So then you can run the oven.
Then could do anything I want.
I know, right? Yeah.
Might need a big inverter.
But generally, it seems like no matter what the vessel size is, if you really want to, enough solar, enough battery, and alternative energy sources, you could get a wind turbine. Well, you know, and then same exact thing. Everybody's just living off the grid. No need to burn any fuel for all of your house loads. I think that's the dream for most of us.
Yeah, would be nice.
Speaking of wind, we absolutely have 0 today. Well, I'm not going to say 0. I should not say 0 because that would be false. We've had 4 knots of wind, and as you can see outside, it is just glass. It is absolutely gorgeous out here today. Today, you would not be sailing no matter what vessel you're in. You would be motoring.
I am really digging how many spaces there are to spread out on this boat because I can set up here comfortably and quietly to work while the guys hang out up in the pilot house. And of course, this boat, like seemingly every yacht these days, has Starlink, which has dramatically changed cruising, like for the better, for the worse, I don't know, but either way, it has never been easier to work remotely. And we have been traveling, living, and working abroad for over a decade now. And when we're not lucky enough to be cruising around on a boat, then we're on some public Wi-Fi network, which is awesome. Except for the fact that public Wi-Fi is also like prime hunting grounds for hackers and for scams. Plus, every time we cross the border, it's like half our streaming content disappears, and some apps and websites just block us altogether based on our location, which is why we are very happy to have today's sponsor, Surfshark VPN, because it is the one tool that we could not survive without. And if you don't know what Surfshark is, well, it's sort of like our full-time security guard for when we're on a public network. So whether we are at a hotel or a cafe or at an airport, then Surfshark encrypts our connection so that no hackers can steal our passwords or our personal information. And speaking of personal information, probably my favorite feature is the alternative ID, which is like my alter ego that is happy to accept all of my junk mail for me, because you cannot sign up for anything these days without submitting at least an email address. Plus, Surfshark lets us change our IP address to virtually place ourselves anywhere in the world to unblock websites and apps that we couldn't access otherwise. Ecuador is blocking the YouTube live chat.
Yeah.
It has seriously been the most reliable tool, and there are so many use case scenarios that I could not possibly think of them all. And one subscription covers every single device we own. And right now, if you head over to surfshark.com/wins or use discount code WINS at checkout or scan the QR code somewhere here on the screen, then they will give you 4 extra months for free. And if you're not sure if it's a good tool for you, no worries. Surfshark offers a 30-day money-back guarantee, so there is no risk to try it out. You can just click the link down the description box below or scan the QR code on the screen. All right, so Geoff is at the helm, so I will give you a quick little tour of our home for the next couple of weeks. So in the galley, as if you couldn't already tell, which is U-shaped, and even though we're not on a sailboat and we're not getting knocked around, there's something about a U-shaped galley that I still like. I think it's just very practical because you're chopping and you're prepping here and you're cooking here. So it's just, I think no matter what, I'm still a fan of the U-shaped galley. Nice big double sink with windows all around, so you've always got a good visual of outside. I don't feel like I'm claustrophobic or down below or in a dungeon, which of course with certain vessels can be a thing, so I don't like being down below. Big induction stove, and then they have a little induction cooktop. One just for efficiency, because again, they can only use the stovetop in the oven for now if they run the generator. But this, they can run off of their house bank batteries. And you've still got a microwave that you can use, and very important, apparently, is the dishwasher. The dishwasher also works off of the batteries. You can see where everybody's priorities lie. They were clearly on Team Jason for the dishwasher. One massive thing, refrigerator. Refrigerator's on
Gotta back up. Hold on. I have to get that whole thing in there. There you go.
Fridge. freezer, regular like residential size fridge freezer. It's impressive. I don't know if I should show you this, but we have fully packed this thing for the next 2 weeks. But there is no frozen veggies. We have enough for fruits and vegetables and fish and everything else for the entire journey, and I'm sure probably far beyond that. Built-in wine rack, also a very important thing. Nice little dining table.
Just missed the herb garden.
Oh, well, I'm so sorry. Yes, I'm already getting used to this boat, so I'm forgetting what to point out. The herb garden. I wanted one of these for so long because apparently they're very efficient. I've had more than one friend, but at their house, this is the first one that I've seen on a boat. It's very smart because little teeny tiny packets, apparently comes with a little bit of food, and you can have an ever-growing garden. So there's dill and cilantro and basil and oregano. So such a lovely touch. And this is a boat of cookers. I guess you would call them cookers. Technically, they're probably not professional chefs unless I missed that on their CV, but they all like to cook. So meals are an important thing aboard this vessel. I'm sure we'll get a couple of fancy dishes before it's all over with that I didn't even cook. That'll be a nice change of pace. And then you move into the salon area, which you already saw, the little seating nook here. And then this is apparently kind of your normal spot for sitting.
This is my spot.
It's his spot. He's working. We'll leave him alone. Very good loungy area. I like it a lot. Feels just like a house, except for when you look out the window.
The world is moving by.
Yeah, the world is moving by. And right at this moment in Alaska, leading into Canada. It's a beautiful thing. Okay, so this is a 3-cabin, 3-head vessel. But of course, there are people occupying these other spaces. We're not going to invade their space, but I've got lovely photos to show you of those. But I can show you our cabin. Okay, now before we move on into the guest cabins, show you the rest of the pilot house, because of course you've already seen the nav area where I was sitting earlier, but there is this awesome little station here, which gives you the same line of sight as whenever you're sitting in the helm seat. So you've got great visuals all around, but you've got a nice big table for working, typing away on computers and still...
Clearly. Computer, iPad.
You know. There's a lot of Mac-loving people around here. It's a very Apple boat at the moment, but the nice thing about being here is that you're still connected with whoever is sort of on watch. So it still feels very communal. Everybody's still chit-chatty, gets to talk and hang out, but you can still get some stuff done, have a snack, whatever, or come up and take a nap if you really wanted to. As I was curious if it all gets utilized, and apparently, yes, it does. All right.
Can I show you my favorite thing about the boat?
What's your favorite thing?
Real quick, we gotta go back into the kitchen.
What do we miss?
Yeah! I feel like I should take my pants off. This is the best part.
Feeling very risky business.
Can't do that on a small boat.
No, you can't. Well, hey, we're not getting a 62-foot boat, so...
Come on, just for the sliding.
Yeah, just for that. Yeah.
All right, we're gonna come out this door here, go up these stairs to 2 of my favorite places on the boat besides the slidey floor.
The slidey floor.
Let's start back here. He calls this the boat deck. It's got the crane, a 1-ton crane, 2,000 pounds, so he can lift this big ass aluminum boat over the side or off the back. That doesn't make sense to me. That's such a heavy boat. Then he's got a teeny tiny tender with a teeny tiny electric torpedo here, so it doesn't weigh much. If he's gonna land on the beach, he'll either take this, or he'll take the kayaks, he said, or the paddleboard. So much storage here. You've got shrimping stuff, you've got a deck box full of supplies, you have crab pots, grill, so much room for toys. That's one of the beautiful things about a vessel like this. And Nikki and I were like, if we ended up with a vessel that's, say, 55 foot or something like that, how many kayaks and how many paddleboards would we want to be able to stow? A lot. Stow. And then would we do the 2 tender thing? Would you want a bigger one and a smaller one? Probably not right off the bat for us, but who knows in reality. Then we step up here and we have this Flybridge, which is fully enclosed with the super clear isinglass that is clear. So you can see through it very easily. It's nice. Up here it's not heated, but it's plenty warm, especially when the sun pokes out. Even for just a minute, it helps really warm up this space. There's an extra freezer here, just sitting there chilling. That's holding all the fish that they caught. And then over here, should I open it?
Yeah.
Okay. This is
A tiny
treadmill. So it pops up, and if it's a rainy day where you can't go to land, or maybe you're just anchored somewhere, or maybe you just want to go for a walk while you're going down the...
That's right. You want to walk across an ocean.
Do a marathon while crossing an ocean. Of course, there's a nice helm seat here, just like the one downstairs. And then there are instruments here. Everything you need to helm the boat, just not quite as flashy as what we've got going on downstairs. This view is absolutely incredible. It is 360 degrees, just magic. And then nice area here. I think I'll probably work on the computer up here, as long as it's not too bright, because this is really comfortable and you can look out for whales. And lastly, we have these little steps that go up to the mast. And on top of the mast, we have radars, we have satellites, we have antennas, all that kind of stuff.
And you got solar panels up there, right?
It's an even nicer view up here. Look at this. God, what a day. It cleared up. Can't believe it. Okay, going back down. And that concludes the Flybridge.
We've reached an intersection.
The stairs lead down directly into the head for the forward berth, which is a 2-bunk berth. And then we move into our berth, which is huge. Walk around. It's almost as big as the owner's side. We actually have a bigger shower than they do, which is curious. There's storage everywhere in here. I'm only gonna open up one of these drawers, but there are multiple drawers like this. So we were able to fit all of our luggage stowed away so we don't have to leave it out, which is really nice.
Hey.
Hey. Oh, so this is his first yacht, and it's the same brand, but it's one that he designed, and it looks really cool. He's told us so many stories about it. He tried to buy it back. This is a whole other story. I won't go into that, but yeah.
You know, it's a good boat. When you have it,
When
you
you
use
can,
it.
and you can stand in the bucket. I don't know what it's called. It's pretty cool. Okay, to the head.
Yeah, okay.
I promised you at the very beginning of this video that I would show you just how stable this boat is, and it's actually in the shower, which is, I would say, a 2-person shower. And I don't know if you're gonna be able to get the camera in here or not.
The other thing is like, what are you standing in?
Is this a 3-person shower?
No.
Yeah, I think it is.
No.
And I don't know what you're talking about. She's talking about the bathtub that I'm standing in. I am 5'9.5", maybe 1/4 now. But this is a big, big tub. Yeah. And then here is the thing that I promised I would show you.
That has not moved.
This little ledge is, I would say that's about 6 inches. So about 3 inches. And these things have not moved. So that is when it's rolling, he's worried about stuff falling off of this little shelf.
Yeah.
And that's it.
So it's still wild to me to think that this is a guest cabin on a 62-foot vessel, because the only other 62-foot vessel, I think it was 62, is sailing Zatara. So that's a catamaran, completely different layout. And that was a really nice cabin in their vessel too, but it is just different layouts, because there, you know, everything's in individual hulls. Everything here is more wide and up. So very different layouts, but the way that the space is utilized, this feels very voluminous, I think. And whenever you're in here, it's quiet. Even though we are underway and we are under motor, it's a slight hum in the background, but it's not loud by any stretch of the imagination. I can hear the water just as much outside lapping on the hull as I can the engine noise. So, and the stability is crazy. Like, the stabilizers definitely do their job, because it's, I mean, you could be at anchor right now and I don't think I could tell the difference. So very cush, very comfortable, very nice accommodations in a 62-foot trawler.
We're gonna hold off on the tour right there for now, because we are almost to Prince Rupert. We're going through this pretty narrow channel, so Mike has taken over the helm. He wanted to steer this last little bit, but it is absolutely gorgeous. God, I love this area. The trees, the rocks, the weather is just fabulous. We have flown in from California, which was 105 degrees. This is magnificent. It's beautiful, and we're gonna check in with customs here. So we actually crossed the border a little while back, but they said just tie it to the dock, customs will come to us. Apparently this is like the biggest northern town on the coast of Canada, Prince Rupert.
Okay, make it look easy.
All right. So here I use the rudder.
Just like an RC boat. What was the one rule?
Don't jump off the boat. No jump.
It should be very calm and relaxed. Until it's not, of course.
Welcome to Canada.
Eh? Let's see. I learned that remote controls and bow thrusters are really cool. That was way more calm than our tiny little 40-ish foot boat. Yeah, but look where we parked.
It's our own step. It's a Canadian boarding step.
So dangerous. We get workers' comp on this ship?
You wish.
I think to get workers' comp, you actually have to get paid.
Yeah, that's right. You get twice your salary back.
Twice if nothing is.
In 2 weeks off.
Yeah, 2 weeks off. 2 weeks paid vacation.
You get it all. All of it. Here in Gallivant, we care. Because at Gallivant, we care.
Okay, where are you headed?
I'm going to go down to the dining room table.
Oh, that you're just going to call it in.
Yeah, I got to call it in.
Oh, so easy.
I know, so it's super exciting.
That was a very long walk to customs and immigration.
How cool is that? Heavy duty.
Yeah. Hello, I'm reporting my arrival into Canada.
By boat, by plane, by car.
By boat?
Which end goes where?
Exactly. It's all the way forward here. It all totally is.
What's that?
That's Canada for you. Look at this. That's deluxe to hide your cable. Nobody trips on. That's deluxe. Never seen that.
In all fairness, we haven't stayed at that many docks. We usually stay at anchor. We're legal?
We are legal.
They let us in?
Let us in. I guess they didn't get my email. Maybe do to not let me in.
Well, we saw Prince Rupert, had a good dinner, and now it's dark, so we will finish our boat tour
And all the
tomorrow.
other things.
Yeah, everything. Oh my gosh. Good night.
Good morning. We are up and at it early. We are headed out because, well, we've got a passage to make, but also we want to make good enough time so that we can actually do a little bit of hanging out and exploring. And of course, somewhere where we can actually drop the hook and not just be at a marina, because this boat is meant to live at anchor. I've been informed that I am the one piloting the boat this morning. So, first time at the remote control thing. We'll see how I do. You sure you want to do this?
Sure. Sure.
All right.
I've seen you drive.
On TV.
TV's real life.
Yeah. I also played a doctor once, so you, if you need anything. Oh yeah, there you
Here's
go.
some teeth.
Ready.
The Keeving to go past. Coming across from bow.
How's that?
Think you're good?
Okay, so now we go just forward.
Yeah, actually, you know, maybe just go up front.
Go up to the front pilot house? Okay.
Let's go up there.
All right.
Oh, that was really.
I know. Here, there's the take. Hit it twice. Wait, there. I think we're clear. All of the venture, potentially. All right, I'll bring in fenders. You okay with me leaving the bridge?
Yeah, I'm just watching that dock, so I don't want to turn too soon.
Are you okay with her leaving the bridge? What could go wrong?
No big deal. Just moving somebody's home.
That's right. This won't cost me anything.
I wanna be happy like you. I wanna be happy like you. You make it look easy.
They talk about a full displacement vessel. It's just heavy, so it sits in the water, so it kind of stays wherever you leave it. And that is kind of nice. So getting it off the dock or just any movements at all, it feels very slow and feels very controlled. You have plenty of time to react to things and to move around, so very controlled. That's my assessment of the steering situation. So that was fun, it was good, very simple. Now once we're underway, of course, there's not a whole lot to navigate around here yet, so it's all very kind of calm and chill and pretty simple. It feels like it would on most any vessel, especially right now because there has been no wind, so there would be no sailing. And that is the other reason that we are considering this whole direction in the first place, is the fact that so often here that there just is no wind. So you're not going to do a lot of sailing anyway, it's going to be a lot of motoring. Because yes, maybe if there's 8 knots of wind, you can still sail. But when there's only 2 or 1 or 3, you're just not really sailing in those conditions. And it's so foggy today. So you're really relying on your radar and everything else because your visuals are very short. There's not a lot to see out here today. So it's interesting conditions for sure. There's something very exciting outside. We have sun! We haven't seen the sun since we got here. But it's out in blue sky. No more fog for now. And I think this is gonna be our anchorage. We also found the wind. Both things came at the same time.
We're going to go to the bit where the little anchor is.
The little anchor is.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that wasn't more exciting.
Got 199 feet of chain out and 65-ish feet of water. She has the Mantis bridle and hook. It is massive. How big is that chain?
It's a 1/2-inch chain.
Jeez.
It's, yeah, I just upsized it this year. It's the best thing ever. I
Makes you sleep well.
Sleep at night, every night. Yeah, this is actually pretty easy to put on. It's certainly a lot easier than other solutions I've had. There we go.
Train on a boat, yeah.
Grab the pictures, but
Now that we're anchored and we still have some daylight left, we can do an engine tour. Are we already going to repair something?
Well, we got a leak. Yeah, there's a leak in a hatch upstairs. But I'm gonna diagnose it first.
Throw that in because you never know.
Okay.
so. And I can wait if you guys want.
No, go for it.
All right.
Tell us what you find.
Okay. Yes.
If we're going to do a repair, then let us know.
Okay, I'll check the leak
Yeah.
first.
Okay, we're finally in the engine room. I can tell you this because it's written right there. Volvo Penta D9 MH.
Mike Harrington. So this is personalized
just
for
for
me.
you.
Yeah, it was made for me. Yeah.
It's
Or
very nice of them.
it's a big giant piece of metal that is somewhat mysterious, but it works. It's a 550 horsepower diesel motor. We only have one.
That's controversial in the motor vessel world because as we've been looking, some people are like, oh no, you can't buy that boat. It's only got one engine. You need 2 because you got to have a backup. I'm like, so really what you're telling me is I need a catamaran. But then there are other people with other schools of thought. So clearly you bought a boat with singles, so tell us about the thought process.
I bought 3 of them. Actually, I've had a few different boats with one engine, but it has more than one way to turn the prop. That's the key.
Oh.
So if you have one engine, you usually have some other thing. And in this case, we can turn the prop with hydraulics. See this thing that says engage and disengage down there? That is the get home drive. I can spin the shaft with hydraulics. So if the engine fails, I just have to flip this switch right there, lift up that lever, and now the stern thruster control is the motor. So when I go to the left, it goes forward, when I go to the right, it goes backwards. And so we can do 4 knots with the big generator.
And that seems to be the term that everybody uses is the get home. So that's sort of, AKA your emergency, your second motor, your alternative motor propulsion, so that something happens, you still are not just a sitting duck.
Yeah, so I've used it twice. Once, because the fan belt broke, the alternator bearing seized up, and so I had a spare fan belt, but the alternator didn't work anymore. So that was problematic. The other time I used it just out of caution, because I wasn't sure the engine was doing something funny, and I thought, well, I'll just go home and have somebody look at it there instead of drive it home. And it just, it was easy to flip to the other thing. And, it took a little bit longer, but, I felt good about it. It all worked out.
And at least you know that your get home motor works.
Yeah, and you should test it. You should run it every now and then, like everything. This is a hydraulic reservoir. The hydraulic oil flows through this. It goes through a heat exchanger right over here, and through here, and a filter, and then goes throughout the system. There's a hydraulic pump there, and there's a hydraulic pump right behind the camera. We can select those either individually or together to provide the amount of horsepower we want to the hydraulic system.
But the hydraulics, that's for everything for the bow thruster. So is that even hydraulics for the crane?
Crane, bow thruster, windlass, stabilizers.
Oh, there's a lot that
stern thruster.
it runs off the hydraulics. Okay,
Yeah.
important system right there.
Oh yeah. One of the nice things about hydraulic systems is they're kind of commercial grade. They can run for a long time. They're very sturdy. So like with electric bow and stern thruster versus a hydraulic bow and stern thruster, I can run this forever, like a stern thruster forever. So I can push myself on the dock.
Yes.
It doesn't have a duty cycle. Like
Gotcha.
some thrusters, you're not supposed to run more than a minute or two, and then give them like some number of minutes off.
Yes, now that I have
Yeah.
seen on like multi-hulls and other boats that we've been on before, and I do remember that. Like you can't just press and hold.
Yeah.
You can only do that for a certain amount of time, then you got to give it a break. So this is nice, I guess, because now you're not limited, which is why like I could just hammer down on the dock to get us out of there.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about it. We'll make more.
Or so you have 2 generators.
Yeah, I have a 25 kilowatt generator and a 12 kilowatt generator. One's just quieter. Sometimes people call it a nighttime generator. There are different schools of thought on generators. Some people have 2 of the same size, which is nice. If they're symmetrical, then some people actually have 2 power takeoffs, which is even nicer, I suppose. But with the small generator, it's like a 50 amp power cord. You can run almost everything off the boat that way. If we have a heavy load, like we have, like running the air conditioning and the oven and all that stuff, then we use the bigger generator, which is more like up to 90 amps or so.
So you just have the one AC
older.
unit.
Yeah,
Okay, that's why I was like, that's a big unit.
it's a big unit. This boat really needs another one.
Oh, really?
Your location matters a lot.
Yeah.
So around the Pacific Northwest, this is fine. In Mexico, it's kind of on the edge.
Gotcha.
So we want to add a little more capacity before we go south again.
Oh, this is a really important piece of
yeah.
equipment.
Cameras are fun.
Yeah.
The
but I
nice
feel
thing,
like safety.
yeah. Well, like if something's going wrong or something's bugging you or something's been problematic, the nice thing about having a pan, tilt, zoom camera in the engine room is you can point at the thing that's causing you grief and you can monitor it up above. I mean, you still do your engine room checks and all that, but it's a nice thing to have just for monitoring. This is how we transfer fuel. We have 4 tanks, the 2 saddle tanks on each side, a tank in the bow, and a day tank down below. We can draw or discharge to any of them.
What's your general range with your fuel?
We burn between 6 and 7 gallons an hour at 1350 RPM. You want to go faster, you burn more. You want to go slower, you burn a lot less. Depends on your mood.
Yeah, but if you were like, let's say you're going to do a crossing or something like that, like do you have like a 3,000 nautical mile range, 4,000 nautical mile range?
I'd have to do the math on that.
Okay.
You could ask me out again.
Okay.
Because
Put it on screen.
Yeah.
yeah, I'll do the math, put in the safety factor, put in the miles per gallon, and then that's the number.
Yeah.
So this is what we use to change the oil, and we can pump oil out of the gear, either generator or the main, into the dirty tank, and then we can pump fresh oil in from the clean tank. It's a nice way to store oil. We don't have things laying around that much. It makes oil changes pretty quick and easy. Then less likely I'm going to spill them on myself, but I still do.
Which is why you have the clothes there.
Yeah, that's why I have my clothes.
And I see you have a fuel polishing system as well.
Yeah, and it uses the same panel, so you can go from any tank to any tank with the fuel polisher. It's got a timer on it. You just run it for a while.
Have you ever had any issues like with the bad fuel, like even in Mexico or anything like that?
No, really, we haven't. The only thing that kind of freaked me out initially in Mexico is the fuel is not dyed red. So when the filter started turning colors, I didn't realize at first, like, oh no, and like, oh no, it's fine. It's not water, it's okay.
Okay. Oddly enough, I think because it's only the one engine, it feels less overwhelming in here to me than some of the other engine rooms that we've looked at. I think because it's like, it's 2 engines plus all the other stuff is in here too. Where's your water maker?
It's in the Lazarette.
Ah, okay. Because I was like, normally that's in here as well. And so sometimes I look at it all together, and even though it's the same, essentially a lot of the same exact stuff you have on a sailboat, it's like, because it's all in one room, feels like it looks like a lot to maintain. But like playtime to like maintenance hours, do you have any rough ideas on that? Like how much time you end up having to like?
Well, as long as something isn't broken, which is most of the time. Actually, the boat works really well. Maintenance is easy. You know, we every 200 hours or so we change the oil, and that's quick. Change the fuel filters, that's quick. These engines are great. They don't burn oil. I don't put oil in them between oil changes.
Yeah. So you've generally been pretty happy with your Volvo?
Yeah, I've had a Volvo, a Cat, a John Deere. They all seem to do the thing.
Okay, so you're not one of those people that's like must have.
Oh no, I'm not. No,
X brand.
I'm not an engine guy really. I'm a software guy, and this is a hardware problem. And you know, and I've learned how to do it all. Like on this trip, well, you talk about things that are broken. Actually, on this trip, water pump broke on this.
Okay.
I had a spare, so you know, it's really not that hard. Take off a few bolts, take off the gear, put it on the new one, bolt it back on, more or less, and you're good to go. Had to change some filters, which is a normal thing, and had to fix a broken wire on a sensor on that one, and that was about it.
Okay.
And on this trip, you don't mean the past 2 days.
He means this season of cruising this summer in Alaska.
The last 3 months.
Yeah.
Yeah. For the last 3 months of continuous use.
Yeah.
So this year we've been moving almost every day, every other day at the least. So we put on a couple thousand miles this summer.
Which is a lot, really.
Yep.
On average, I feel like that's most people in a season or in a year. You're anywhere from 1,000 to maybe 6,000 nautical miles, but that's like you crossed a big ocean and you did a lot of cruising in an entire year. So like, but otherwise, like 1,000 to 2,000 miles, that's most people.
Yeah,
you're cruising a lot if you're doing that.
Yeah,
much,
that's no overnights, no offshore, nothing like that.
And you got a tool room, and you can work on everything right here. You're not having to like bust stuff out on the kitchen table. That's really nice.
That's not allowed.
It's not allowed. Okay. Well, at least
By
you got
you, or?
Yeah.
Well, both of us. It's like it's mutually agreed upon.
Nobody really
you
wants
have
your
to have
engine.
boundaries in life.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. Well, it's not. I mean, your bedroom would be closer, but you're not going to like put a tarp down in there and go at it, and like take something apart. So I don't want it on the kitchen table either. Yeah.
That's what the boat deck is for.
So leaving the engine room, coming into the Lazarette. This is, well, right behind Jay-Z, water maker. And then the thing that I really wanted to come back here for is the wastewater treatment, because this is something that we've never had on any of our boats because it's not available in a small enough size to go into a 40-foot catamaran. But you can have one on a 50-ish foot and probably larger motor vessel.
I think you're the first person to come on this boat and be excited about this.
Well, because you don't get the, wastewater treatment. I know it shouldn't be exciting, but I think it's exciting, so.
Well, it's nice. It's a nice thing to have on the boat because you really don't have to worry about your waste. It's, when you set it up and when it's running, it just works. You keep it going. It's quiet. The only thing you hear occasionally is there are aerators in the tanks to keep the bacteria alive, I guess, the microbes, whatever they are. And, you can feel good about, being clean in the water.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
It is nice because typically as a sailor, if you want to empty your tanks, you have to be 3 miles or more offshore for us. So it's not often you're not doing that every day. So then if your tanks fill up, it's a bit of a problem. So you either got to get a huddy wagon, which does not exist in the islands, by the way. It means you just have to go out to sea. So, or as many people do, they just don't go out to sea and they just empty their tanks anyway. Sometimes you're in like on top of a reef in a really beautiful lagoon or something. So you don't want to do that. So these are really awesome. Okay.
Yeah, this awesome door right here.
Because now you also have a door to the outside, which means if it is hot inside your engine room, whenever you get done, it can air out and it's not good. The heat isn't escaping up into the main living part of the boat. I do really like that.
Now we kayak.
Oh, the mice are connected. Muddy walrus.
Yeah, I got mine on. Get it together, kid. Get it together.
We're gonna do this.
And now I'm ready with my microphone on. So much work, this vlogging stuff. I'll record you in case you fall in.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You just stand up, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Like a paddleboard.
Exactly. I keyed.
Cool, here's a starfish. Holding on. This one's hanging upside down. His tentacles are still moving though. That's crazy. It's so different to be on the water and looking at pine trees
Right.
and big rocks.
That's how you know you're somewhere different. It's not tropical.
So quiet.
Get blown away. It's like riding the lazy river. Get you a cooler and an inner tube.
Nikki said she sees the Bellagio fountains ahead.
It is like the water fountain at the Bellagio over there.
That's what I said.
Did you?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
It's all mussels and barnacles. Jeez.
So much seaweed.
Yeah.
Make a salad.
So many squirters.
Pretty funny. It's like little water guns going off. Pew, pew, pew. Sea monsters. That. Attacking your legs under the water. Ooh. Freaks me out every time. But it's like, look how long they are.
That's a long thingy.
Yeah. Can you imagine actually seeing the giant squid that big? I've always kind of wanted to. Like, yes and no. I want to because it would be really cool. I know they exist out there. At the same time, totally freak you out.
It's all mussels and clams and barnacles.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Look, can you imagine? Like, I want the one that comes out of this shell.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's about the size of your head.
That's a meal right there, baby.
Jeez. I don't think I've ever seen one that big.
Filet-o clam. It almost reminds me of like an abalone, but it's not. I mean, that's huge.
It's a mussel.
Yeah, I know.
Just nuts.
There's others around here. I mean, that's the biggest one that I found.
It's just lousy with starfish here. Wow.
So we've had 2 days on board now. This is our second day.
Yeah.
I've pulled off the dock. We've driven. Fish. Mostly the boat just drives itself.
Done an entire day of passage making, and then 3/4 of a day, so that's quite a bit of time. We went outside in the ocean, outside of the inside passage for a few minutes, and it got a little rough. I forgot to film, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad at all. It's not as much action as sailing. There's no doubt about that.
Well,
But
I don't know
we're also not passage
Yes.
planning, and we're not the ones choosing the routes and worried about depths and anchorages and stuff like that. So I feel like
but I feel like it's more than that. I feel like it's where we are. The water around here is just calm. There's been almost no wind. Like the water's just super chill. I think that's just part of where we are today. Like some weather moves in, it'll be a different story. Sorry.
it's probably not the smartest idea to do this while we're having a heart-to-heart here.
It's a lazy river talk.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing right now.
But I think so far, I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Stepping outside and getting blasted with the cold weather, and when that fog rolls in, I'm so happy to be inside. And it feels nice to be warm and have a hot cup of tea in your hand as you're cruising by all these beautiful islands with pine trees and looking for bears and whales. And
It's funny, there was one point where it's like the wind kicked up to like a whole 15 knots. For just a short bit, we were like, oh,
we could be
quick,
sailing.
get the spinnaker out, because we were downwind. And then we were like, I'm not kidding you, not 5 minutes, not even 5 minutes. It was back to like 1 and 2. And we were like, and that we would have gone outside, put the spinnaker up to not be able to sail and then to have to put it back down. So it's sort of, you run through the scenarios in your head of like, well, but, and I can't help myself. I keep thinking about like, oh, well, if we were on a sailboat right now,
what would we be doing?
What would we be doing? Yeah.
Well, at the fuel dock, we met a guy that's local to Ketchikan. He's from Florida, sailed with his family, and he has a sailboat there in Ketchikan and a powerboat, and he decided to buy a seaplane because now he's in Alaska. He's like, oh man, seaplane, where it's at. He's like, skip the trawler, just go straight for a seaplane. But I asked him how much he uses his sailboat and how much he actually uses the sails. And he said, oh, if I take the sailboat out, there's no way in hell we're flying any sort of...
Nope, watch out.
Nope. He said there's no way we're flying any sails because there's just not enough wind, or it's not really, you can't rely on it. And I thought that was the thing, you know?
That's what we've heard over and over and over and over.
It's you buy the vessel for the adventure. And for him right now, the adventure is flying to islands and hunting. So I feel like for us, it's going to northern latitudes where the wind is not always great. So maybe this type of life will work for us.
Yeah, I think the boat for the adventure, the right tool for the job. And I think that's just what we're trying to figure out. Is it the right tool for the job? And it very well could be for this leg of the journey.
Yeah. So that's what's going through our mind right now. And we haven't dove into, fuel economy and speeds and stabilizers or anything like that. But don't worry, we will get to that.
We just didn't want to get lost in the weeds on this one, especially because we're still trying to soak it all in.
It's a lot to soak in.
Yeah.
So we will see you next Sunday.